Hi, everyone. I'm working from home today. Oh my gosh, I'm really feeling the energy of all the release. From what happened with the inauguration yesterday, and I'm just feeling it in my body. My headache is gone now, but I've been nursing a cold for like a week, and I was feeling so low energy yesterday. I actually came home early. And so I'm feeling very blessed that I can work from my bed today and I can go live from my bed today. I just have one more call and then I'm done. So I want to talk to y'all about what I call sacred leadership. I just got off a freaking amazing coaching call with one of my Thriving Studio Owner Program graduates, my 12-week graduate, Heather, who is stepping into my next sort of my bridge container to get to even like the next level. And I call this one my 8-week get your studio on its own 2 feet container. It's a private coaching container. And we just had our first session. I love this person. She's a Pilates studio owner, astrologist, Pilates instructor, magical human. Just like me, she's an edge walker. You know, she moves between the worlds of energy, mystery, and magic, and just like practicality, anatomy, business, running a team. And so I want to talk to you about what happened to her today. She shared with me this amazing story, and it's such the embodiment of sacred leadership. So any of you who are watching, would you comment here? I want to know, where are you watching from? And are you a leader? Are you a leader of your business or in your community, of your nonprofit? What team or community are you leading? Put that in the comments so I can feel into who's here and make sure I deliver this message in a way that's just perfect for you. Okay, so let me tell you what happened with Heather. So Heather is in this stage in her business where she's finally shifting out of the altitude of doer into the altitude of manager, and even like reaching into the altitude of leader. You know, one of her main goals with the program that we're doing right now is to really get her business running the day-to-day on its own. Her dream is to have as much luxurious time freedom as she could ever imagine, so she can have like all the time to do her creative pursuits and all these really interesting revenue building ideas she has. But also, really, she wants location freedom because her family lives in Florida, her niece and her nephew, her sister, and she wants to be able to winter in Florida, baby. So that's like one of the goals that we are working on, is giving her location freedom. Now, she, is a small business owner who is just used to doing all the do's. She recently cut back on her teaching, but she's still teaching like 12 hours a week, and she's really the best instructor in the biz right now in her business. And so, yeah, she's making this shift. She's already doing such amazing work with it, moving from the altitude of do everything, which we all start in, right, to the altitude of manager. But now she actually has hired a manager. So she's starting to get a little taste of what it's like to be in the altitude of leader, which, when you step into this altitude, with which most small and big business owners don't do ever. The majority of us don't ever even leave manager. We just stay there forever. When you step into the altitude of leader, you become more like a mentor and a coach. It's very different than assigning projects and micromanaging them, which is what a lot of us who are born to be leaders end up doing. We end up being kind of crappy managers. So she's starting to step into this, and so she's recently hired and is currently training a new operations manager, okay? And this person came back to her last week, I think it was, or maybe even earlier this week, and said, oh my God, I effed up. Like, we had a new client and I totally messed this up, and oh my God, what do I do? So here Heather is, facing this conversation. And Heather's former self would have seized control. Heather is like a recovering control freak, as most of us are. And, her perfectionist stuff would have taken over, and she would have gotten like, oh, this is how you do it. And just let me do it. Let me take care of it. But instead, Heather came with some of these leadership skills that we've been working on with her in the last like 3 or 4 months since I started working with her. She came with her deep breath. She came with her down-regulated nervous system. She had taken a week off for the holidays, which most small business owners never do. So she's well-resourced. She's rested. She's dialing in the energy. She's like redone the space. So she's feeling magical and creative. And like, that's how she entered the conversation, with this sense of nervous system freedom. So there she is coming to this conversation. She's like, "Oh, no worries. It's okay. I understand. Like, we all make mistakes. No big deal. Let me tell you how I would have done it. This is how I would have done it, but I know that my way is not the only way. Now, what shall we do? Like what, she put it really back on this new manager. How would you like to proceed? Obviously, we need to make repairs with this person. And for Heather, as she was feeling herself have this conversation, she was with this employee of hers. She was like, "Wow, who am I right now? Like, this is so amazing." I'm like not taking it from her, taking control, or needing to put my hands in the pot. Like, I'm just holding this space for this person to grow and learn from their mistake. And Heather said that, like, in herself, she was like, "Wow, like." It is so amazing to lead not from a place of needing to control everything, of needing everyone to be perfect. It's so amazing to be able to lead from a place of understanding that mistakes are a part of the learning process. And of course, she's going to make mistakes, and even Heather makes mistakes, of course. We all do. So there was sort of an inner healing happening for her of like, oh, wow, like this is what it feels like to be the kind of leader that I actually am and that I want to be and that I want to see in the world, right? Sacred leadership. Okay. And then on the other side of it, she said that she could feel into her employee, and this employee like walked away from this conversation feeling empowered, feeling respected, feeling cared for, and knowing that she doesn't have to worry about having an asshole boss. Like, she actually has a boss who understands that mistakes are part of the learning process, who's not requiring perfection. And so in this little, whatever, 15-minute conversation, there was just healing on both sides. Understand this is what it's all about, y'all. It's like, I know we don't have control about what's happening in the entire world and with like our country and the entire planet, but like we can do this work within our spheres of influence, and it will ripple out. This is why I feel so passionate about empowering my fellow small business owners and spiritual business owners with some of these skills, is because if we do it on these little micro levels and we start to move it out, it will ripple out and eventually take over this like hyper masculine, patriarchal energy of power and of greed and of sort of manipulation that we all want effing gone, right? Because you do not need to lead from those places. You don't need to manipulate your people. You can empower them, and your organization will be like that much better from it, instead of you manipulating these people and treating them like a peon. I'm just sorry, I'm like still in Trumpsville right here. So anywho, let me just stop right there. But I'm so excited to share that story with you. I hope it resonates. I'd love to hear your comments about this and about how you are reshaping your sort of intention to be a leader and your reality of being a leader. This is one of the transmissions I will be teaching in my nervous system freedom retreat, which is for multi-6 and 7-figure spiritual business owners. It's March 2nd through the 4th. So if you are curious about this, like how can you become this kind of leader who is not leading from a place of being exhausted and doing everything and sacrificing their own health or their relationships or their spiritual practice in service to their organization, but instead leading from a totally different paradigm. This is what we're going to work on there. Just message me today. You and I can have a little conversation, see if you're the right fit for this particular program, and I can tell you all the things you want to know about it. I would love to talk to you. I only have 11 spots left because my first business owner grabbed one the other day. We just opened enrollment on Monday. And I'm so excited to teach these pieces to all's y'alls. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing day, a restful day, and I'll talk to you real soon.